Welcome to our second session of our Employer Explorer Networking Series at our third annual Spring Career Week. We are so excited for you to join us again. This session will be recorded, and we invite you to submit questions throughout the session into the chat, with the understanding that we will save student questions for the end. Today, we have Sigma Resources with us to present information about their company, employment, internship opportunities, and answering your questions. I would now like to turn it over to our employer, Sigma Resources.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristen Homan. I'm the Talent Acquisition Manager here with Sigma Resources. We also have our recruiting team online that will be able to help answer questions after the presentation with Abigail Charlton, Justin Rothman, and Glenn Smith. I'm going to start the presentation just to tell you a little bit about Sigma Resources. And again, feel free to save your questions for the end and we'll make sure we answer them for you. Sigma Resources was founded in 1998, and with over 20 years of experience, we're helping companies grow and transform their businesses through the application of advanced technologies. Some of our expertise includes software development, UX design, cloud infrastructure, data analytics, and machine learning. In the field, some of our employees are project managers, business analysts, application developers, database administrators, SharePoint developers, web designers, and QA specialists. As I mentioned, our expertise is in software development, automation, and the application of technologies. We enable the organizations to pursue business opportunities, solve their complex problems, and bring innovation to the market. We provide ownership and oversight for the entire life cycle of the initiative. We help our customers simplify the complex range of technology options, identify which solutions they need, and implement a focused plan of action. I would like to point out that we also have a dedicated team of staff here at Sigma Resources that helps with that initiative. As you can see on my slide here, you can see some of the customers that we focus on nationally. We've implemented information technology strategies, program management, software development, data analytics services, infrastructure, operation, and support services. Some of our clients with a heavy focus, especially in the Harrisburg area, is public sector, federal, state, and local level, transportation and mobility industries, workforce and professional development, as well as a heavy focus on education. With our 20 years of experience, Sigma Resources has proven success with over 350 completed projects. 85% of our business is repeat customers, with over 1,000 consultants have been deployed on projects nationwide. On this slide, you can see, I'm not sure if it's as clear, but some of our clients, you'll see we have the City of Harrisburg, PRI, GSI, SAE International, which is located in Pittsburgh, and several Pennsylvania Department clients here in the Harrisburg area. Why work for Sigma? We find that our customers trust us to understand their overall needs and dedicate a talented team of professionals to implement their solutions. We invest in emerging technologies with the approach of solving problems to completely different ways. We're currently implementing projects leveraging artificial intelligence and machine learning, knowledge graphs, and blockchain. While we implement solutions on behalf of our customers, we also challenge ourselves to identify opportunities to develop products that empower the individuals. One thing we're very excited about is in late 2020, we did acquire a gaming company called SimCoach Games, which I encourage you to definitely go ahead onto their website, www.simcoachgames.com. You can also find the connection there on the Sigma Resources website. SimCoach Games was founded in 2005, again with our acquisition in 2020. We're excited to bring Sigma Resources as well as SimCoach Games together to focus on development and design. Some of the focus of the games are mastering schoolwork to make better choices and preparing for employment, discover skills and aptitudes, and to being trained in a safe and successful environment. They find that the difference by converting real-world experience into games to inform, instruct, train, and encourage the employees. Some of the gamings focus on workforce, safety, education, and personal growth. Again, encourage you to go on to the website for SimCoach Games. You can play the games under Games Play Now, and you can go ahead and view that after this presentation. In addition to looking for gaming designers and developers, Sigma Resources is constantly looking for people to join our team in some of the core skills of Java development, .NET, Angular, testers, manual automation, DevOps engineers, and data scientists. We can get into a little bit more with your questions regarding what opportunities we have available, but we are heavily looking for the .NET and Java and the gaming specifically right now. You can also see at the bottom of our slide there that we are an E-Verify employer. We have a great comprehensive benefits package, and we do provide sponsorship. On the side here, we'll encourage you to make any applications or inquiries for interns or career at jobs at sigma-resources.com. Please do follow us on LinkedIn. You can follow Sim Coach Games as well as Sigma Resources to learn a lot more. And again, our websites that I mentioned before. And that is pretty much it about Sigma Resources. We welcome you now to, open the floor to questions that we can get a little bit more in deep about what we can do for you.
So we do have a question coming in. So what kind of data analytics service projects do you provide, and to what customers in what domains and industries?
Sure, I can answer that for you, Amit. If you do visit our website, you can learn more about some of the data analytic projects we've had. We did have an example on there of one we've done with the knowledge graph to calculate risk, and it was focused around the autonomous vehicle industry. I would say that was a heavy focus for us on several projects. But as far as learning more about data analytics, if you want to email me directly, which I know Jeff said he could share that email address, I could definitely connect with you to further discuss.
Wonderful, thank you. We now have another question. Are there any entry-level positions for project management or business analysts?
Abby, would you like to start with that question?
Sure. So currently, we do not have any entry-level project manager or business analyst experience available, but that can change daily. So what I would always recommend is to send your resume over to jobs@sigma-resources.com. That way we can keep in touch with you for the right type of opportunities in project management as well as business analysis.
Great, that's wonderful. So just to clarify, students can still send over their resumes even if there isn't a position available at the moment. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We would definitely like to connect with you, and right now, even if we don't have the right type of availability and opportunity for you, we definitely want to learn more about your background and keep in touch with you for the right types of opportunities as they come about.
Wonderful. So we have another job question. Are there any upcoming roles on testers?
And I'll take that. Yeah, we typically have testing QA roles available, both functional and automation, typically with Selenium being a tool that we're looking for. Those pop up, weekly. Currently, we don't have one. Next week, that could change. Tomorrow, that could change. Right now, we're looking for accessibility tester, a functional tester. So if you have those skills, feel free to pass along your resume. But like Abby said, these come up pretty often. So if we have your information, you're a good fit, we'll reach back out to you and get you started in the process.
Great. Now we have a question about the H-1B. Do you offer H-1B or opt roles?
So I can definitely answer that question. So in regards to sponsorship as a whole, actually, so we do provide sponsorship and we work with different work authorizations. Touching on that specific question, we would be able to, work with, H1s and then possibly provide that sponsorship moving forward. And additional to that, we would, always be open to seeing, any OPT students, CPT, things of that sort as well. So yes, to answer that question, we would work with, that sponsorship and work off.
Okay, thank you. Now moving on to the internship aspect of this, can you describe the internship application process?
I can take that one. For internships, we're always open to, connecting with the students or the applicant to learn more about what they're looking for specifically. At this time, they can just still email their application to jobs@sigma-resources.com, and we'll be able to filter through that and, point you to the right direction, to the intern department, the jobs department, whatever it may be. But if you centralize everything to jobs@sigma-resources.com, we'll make sure we'll get back to you.
Wonderful. So we do have a question about the SimCoach games. Could you be more specific on SimCoach games? I'd love to hear more about it, especially on the entry director level.
So actually, SimCoach Games, their website is very helpful. If you go there, you can see that we have multiple different games that are available to be able to play and go through, so you can get a little bit more experience and see what those games have to offer. At this point, they are going more towards an education and workforce development phase with SimCoach games. So again, I would always direct you to the website, and then if it looks like something that you might be interested in, again, always send your resume over to jobs@sigma-resources.com, and we can reach out to you and touch base with you, regarding opportunities that you may be a good fit for within SimCoach games. When it comes to the gaming type of technologies, we are open to developers and designers. Right now we are looking into Unity as one of the languages that we would be working with, but again, that could change depending on the type of game that's being made. So if you are a developer or a designer or looking to get into that field, again, please share your resume. We'd be happy to touch base with you.
Thank you, Abby. As a follow-up question, are there any internship opportunities available with SimCoach games yet? I know you just newly acquired them.
Yes, we are planning to have internships coming in the near future, as well as full-time, jobs as well. So again, share your resume, and we'd be happy to touch base for internships. And for, also full-time jobs as well.
Speaking of that, another question that came in is, do you require entry-level or internships to have prior experience, or is the school experience enough?
So that's a great question. I think that, we have in the past worked with candidates who have some school experience. Ultimately, we would like to see some, experience prior, but again, we'd be open to touching base and seeing what your projects were like in school, and see going from there. So again, feel free to, if it is project experience that you have within your school, I would recommend highlighting that within your resume so that we can have a better understanding of what you worked with within your school projects, and passing that along.
Great. And then another question that came in from a student is about the training provided for internship roles. Could you explain that a little bit for us?
Kristen, do you have any more?
Yes, I would say,
to shed on that?
right. Yes, absolutely. I would say for our internships, the training is depending on the skill set. We do have internal resources that focus heavy on Java, .NET, and some of the other core skills. Sigma Resources has a development center in-house, so a lot of the times we can bring in junior resources and help train them in that respect, where we can work on projects. But I hate to keep you saying apply it to jobs@sigma-resources.com, but we really mean that. If you apply there and, explain in your application of what you're looking for, we can certainly match you up with the right SME at Sigma Resources who could possibly discuss further on how the training would go.
Then a couple more questions just came in about it says, what skill sets for all the game-related jobs are you looking for in a candidate applicant, like programming, graphic design, 3D modeling, animation, etc.?
Or I could take that. We're definitely heavy focused on designer and development type skill sets. Artists are definitely welcomed, so I don't want to sound as if we don't want that. I'm definitely open to seeing those applications, but the designing and development is definitely a huge piece. As far as the technologies behind it, like Abby mentioned, Unity is something we focused on, but we're definitely open to reviewing applications as well as talking to the gaming students that you have, because we're learning as well since we just recently acquired the company. So I definitely encourage internships, anyone of any skill level. Like if you only have project work, that's very much welcomed in the gaming aspect. So I would say in the gaming, we were just very open, design and development being the key skills.
Are there any part-time positions available? Or is it all full-time?
Well, as far as internships, is that for employment or internships? I would say for both, we'd probably be open to part-time, especially if it's, a student who's trying to balance schoolwork as well as work learning. So I would say open to part-time. We typically go a little more on the full-time end, but definitely open to part-time.
Wonderful. And then another question about the internships came in. Is there any remote internships available during the summer, or are they all in person?
I would say they were looking to have more in person, but for the right resource, I know it sounds like we're open to anything, but we really are, because for the right resource, sometimes, especially in the technologies that we're working on, remote's perfectly fine. And especially in the world we're living in right now, we can remote video chat, and there's many ways to work it. So I wouldn't want to exclude someone who's only able to work remote.
Moving on to a resume question, we have, once a student submits a resume, how soon will they receive or expect to hear from you? And a follow-up question is, should they also submit a cover letter with that resume referencing this session?
Yeah, I can take that. So typically we like to get back to everybody who takes the time to reach out to us within a couple days. A cover letter, maybe a summary of where you're looking to be, where you see your strong skills, and where you heard about us. You can reference this session. But yeah, something that kind of pull together your entire the package, your experiences, your classwork would be helpful.
Thank you. Also, can you please describe different stages of the hiring process at your company? Do you do phone interviews? Are they panel interviews? What type of interviews do you do, and what does that process look like?
Well, that process has changed a little bit this year. Typically, phone interview first, and then probably ask you to come into the office for a face-to-face. Right now, and probably for the foreseeable future, it typically is a Zoom call, 1 to 2 rounds. Possibly 3, depending on the role. And there could be a panel of some SMEs on the call as well. Your initial conversations would probably be with myself, Abby, Glenn, or Kristen, and then you'd kind of move on to maybe a project manager or a hiring manager at a client site.
I think a lot of companies are moving more towards the virtual format, and we're going to see that more and more in the interview process. Another internship question came in. Do you prefer business management major students for the internship, or what majors do you prefer? Does it matter, or are you looking more for skill set?
I can take that question. As far as being a business management major, we're definitely open to seeing your resume or your profile, things of that sort. We actually have a number of different opportunities. Some more so focusing on like the skill set of the technical abilities, so like maybe your systems engineers, developers, things of that sort. But then at times we also have certain key business pieces. So more so like maybe your business analytics people, your business analysts, project managers, project analysis, things like that. So it really just depends on where your focus is and where we can kind of piece together what you're personally looking for and what the client would be looking for. But nonetheless, with that major, we would definitely be open to looking at your resume and trying to work something out for you.
As a follow-up to that, are there any UX design, product design positions available currently?
I can take that question. Currently, we do not have one that is at the top of my head, but we are, consistently looking for that type of role. Some actually in the Harrisburg area. So I would encourage that person who's asking that question to go ahead and email us and also mention that they asked that question so I can make sure I send it over to the right person.
Great. Going back to SimCoach, are all the positions located in Pittsburgh? Are some of those remote? Are they located in Harrisburg? Could you explain more about the location and what the expectations are of where a candidate would live for that role?
Yes, so SimCoach is mainly in the Pittsburgh area. As of right now, we are not working in the office due to COVID-19. So we do have definitely remote capabilities. But again, for an internship or for a, entry level, newly hired individual, we probably would like to have them on site, when it is safe to be back in the office. Just because, we have remote capabilities, but primarily for SimCoach games, it would be on site. However, like Kristen had mentioned, it would probably be best to shoot over your resume to us, because for the, the right type of opportunity and the right individual, we may be able to make something work. And, just because SimCoach games may be in Pittsburgh, we do have other clients and that type of thing outside of the Pittsburgh area that may match your skill set as well, in different locations.
It also sounds like since you're growing so rapidly, those positions might expand to other locations or things are still changing. Is that correct?
Yes, I would say so. We're always looking for people in the Pittsburgh area as well as the Harrisburg area. Every once in a while, we have things come up for like the DMV, the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, as well as Scranton, Pennsylvania. So there are a lot of different opportunities that we have. It's just really going to depend on your skill set and if we can match you up at one of those locations.
Approximately how many employees do you have for Sigma now?
Sigma Resources has approximately 65 employees, and those are located in Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, and there's a few throughout the United States as well, but a heavy focus on Pittsburgh and Harrisburg.
That's wonderful that you're right here in Harrisburg. Moving on to part-time jobs. If we were to apply for a part-time job and someone was hired, how would the days, hours look like? What would be a general structure to balance the work and schoolwork?
I could answer that for you. As far as in part-time hours, we've had part-time employees before who we just kind of talk to them about what they're looking for. And if that would be, 5 days a week, half a day till noon, because their school classes and whatnot are in the other half of the day, that's fine. We have people maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Again, it would be depending on that person's expectations, and we could see if we could find a match that worked, beneficial for both parties.
For the data science roles, are there any required skills to be a proper fit? Are there things that students should be doing outside of their coursework to make them a stronger candidate? Can you provide any insight to that?
I could do that. One skill I know that we were focused on for quite a while was Python. I'm not sure if the students at your university are focusing on that, but I know that was one of the skills. Otherwise, we were really just looking at the project work that they've done with their classes. One university on our end that we were working in Pittsburgh was CMU, and a lot of the project work was very good. So I believe that yours would be as well. So I don't want the students to think their data scientist background has to be in the field. We're very open to school projects and to see what skills they've been using.
Do you suggest that students create a portfolio? to highlight those projects, or should they just put those on their resume? How best can they showcase those projects?
If they just, at times people just list it on their resume and we can link to a portfolio, that's definitely helpful, but not required. Just a brief description of the projects, even in their resume, is fine as well. And then we can always, during our discussion, learn more.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. This has been really informative, and the students are having such great questions. We still have a lot more rolling in. So we are up to, what does an average day in the life of one of your developers look like?
I can take that.
So I can.
Oh, go ahead, Glenn.
I'm so sorry. So what I was going to say is, I personally cannot exactly tell you what that looks like, but we do have a number of direct workers that are directly working for our company, either Sigma or SimCoach. I don't think it would be a tough job for us to try to line you up with one of those developers to maybe shadow, or maybe have like a user interview, or try to get an understanding of what they're doing. So if you do have that inquiry, I would say you can send it over to the K Homan Sigma Resources email address, and then just make sure in the subject line and somewhere throughout the paragraph, you put that you're focused on this, and you would be open to maybe shadowing a developer, or speaking to a developer, and I'm sure we could try to work that out and line that up for you.
That is such a cool idea. I love that idea, and I have not heard many companies offer that. So I would highly suggest, if you are interested in that, please reach out to Sigma, because that is such a cool opportunity that you might be able to get some more insight into what that day looks like, and what they do in general. So we do have another question about the business analyst and project management internship. If a student does not have much experience, what would you be looking for on a resume for those roles, and how could they still be a good fit for that?
So I would say to definitely outline any type of project experience that you may have within your classwork and coursework, and make sure that you're going in depth but concisely regarding your project management background, or business analyst skills that you have worked on within your coursework. And then also, if you have any extracurricular activities that you are performing, any project management or business analyst type of skills, whether that be with a specific hackathon, or any of those types of groups, or anything like that, where you have managed a project or done any type of business analyst type of things with putting together storyboards and that type of thing, explaining that more so on your project or on your resume, so that we can have an idea of even though you may not have the internship or the work experience, we have an idea of what you've done in your coursework that relates to that specific opportunity. And also, if you see any type of job descriptions, make sure that you're going through those job descriptions and tailoring your resume to what you have done in the past that relates to what that specific job is looking for. I think that helps a lot, tailoring your resume to what they are looking for in that job description as well.
That's a great point, Abby. We always try to reiterate that too at the Career Services Office, to make sure that they are writing their resume based on the job description and not just submitting any type of resume. So that is a really strong, helpful hint to look at the job description, pull out those keywords, and make sure that you are writing your resume based on that experience of what the company is looking for. We all know the general rule of thumb is resume should be one page. Do you at Sigma Resources think that, or do you think it's okay to have it a little bit longer, since a lot of our students, or at least our graduate students, have some years of experience? Would it be okay for them to have a 2-page resume versus a 1-page? Can you just elaborate on what you're looking for with that?
I believe here, and I think that Glenn and Kristen and Justin can attest to, it's the content within the resume is what counts. So if you're just dumping a bunch of keywords in and we can see that, that's probably not the best. But if you're explaining your project and, you have experience that allows you to go past that 1-page limit, I would definitely say go for it, because we do want to have an idea of what you've worked with in the past. And if you have 5+ years of experience, you may need to go over that 1 page. And I think that that's perfectly fine, so that we can have a better idea of your accomplishments, previously.
Great. And I'll also just put a little plug in for HU Career Services. If you're unsure about if you have too much or too little on your resume, just send us an email and we can do a review for you at careerservices@harrisburgu.edu. And then, of course, you can upload it onto the Sigma resources and email that over to them. And then they'll hopefully call you for a position or an internship. Another question is, would you have any information you could provide our graduate students regarding your sponsorship process?
Yes, Sigma Resources does, as I mentioned, offer sponsorship. We have worked with visas as far as, CPTs, OPTs, H-1Bs. We can sponsor H-1Bs, we can transfer H-1Bs. A lot of our opportunities do require W-2 employment, so we do, require that. So we are well versed in the entire sponsorship process. We want you to be encouraged that, we work directly with our attorneys on it, follow everything by the book, and we pride ourselves on our sponsorship process. I would encourage everyone to either email, maybe at the Homan at sigma-resources.com, that Jeff will be able to provide you. If you want to connect with us personally so we can learn about what it is you exactly need, what visa sponsorship maybe you're on currently or you're looking to be on, and that way we can gear our conversation towards your needs.
Are there any OPT, CPT internships regarding development engineering roles?
So yes, I can answer that. So we do work with OPTs and CPTs. In regards to the internships, it would be more dependent on, I guess, the environment or the platform, that you're specific to. If Again, sorry to repeat, but if you get, your resume or possibly a portfolio or something like that over to our jobs@sigma-resources email, we can definitely, look over that and again, try to fine tune, your skills with any matches that we might currently have at that time.
So a student asked another question about a portfolio and if that various applicable pieces along with the resume would work well to better showcase their work versus just having a resume.
I can take that question. There are certain opportunities that we've had in the past that do require showing your portfolio. For instance, like we've had UX and UI designers in the past that we do require a portfolio to move forward in the interviewing process, as well as a digital marketing lead opportunity that we had that we would like to see their background. When it comes more to the development side, like Java developers and .NET developers, if you have any type of like GitHub type of page or anything like that, they may want to see that further on in the interviews, but it's not required to speak with any of the recruiters because honestly, we know enough about the technical piece to be dangerous, but we're not, we're not developers ourselves, so that may get lost in translation on us. But I do believe that it is something nice so that you're archiving your work as well, to keep that somewhere, that you can come back to. That way you can reference it in future interviews and so forth as well. And that may give you an upper leg if you can say, hey, I have a portfolio to speak to. Would you like to see that as well? So I think it is definitely, helpful moving forward. And there are some opportunities that we definitely do require a portfolio to showcase your work as well.
Thank you. And as we are approaching graduation in May, for seniors and graduate students close to graduating, can they still apply, interview, and be offered a job now if their graduation will be still in several months or maybe even over the summer?
I could answer that. And the short answer is yes. We've had opportunities. We were specifically in like the machine learning data scientist role, like something that we were working on. I was speaking to students in the now time frame, and they weren't able to work till May or June, and that was okay with the hiring team. They understand that you need to start job hunting soon because you don't want to wait till you graduate. So absolutely, definitely apply. And we will reach out to you to learn more about your, availability and when you could accept a job.
Wonderful, thank you. I believe that is all the questions we have. Does anyone have any last questions before we finish up? Someone did just type in, could you provide us with a forecast for job hunting year 2022? You might not know that yet, but our students always like to think ahead.
I can answer part of that, or Abby, it's up to you. I would say that just to, let everyone know, we are consistently looking for the core skill sets. I can definitely forecast that we will need .NET developers. We will definitely need Java developers, testers, of all, manual, functional, automation. The gaming for sure, I can forecast that's just going to continuously grow because that's a huge focus for Sigma right now. So the forecast, I would say, is similar to the forecast now. Like, we are open to all of the opportunities that are listed, that I listed in the presentation, as well as please feel free to visit the website to learn what some of those core skills are. Data analytics, go on from there. One thing I would encourage everyone to do is please follow Sigma Resources as well as SimCoach Games on LinkedIn because we're constantly posting updates there as well.
Great. Do you suggest that they connect with you also on LinkedIn to stay current with everything?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Please feel free to connect with all of us. We welcome that.
Okay. And also, so a question from our graduate student. We have a number of graduate students that are located out of Pennsylvania, for example, New York. Would you still encourage them to send their resume for possible remote employment?
Yes, I would still definitely pass along your resume. Like we've said, the majority of our opportunities are within the Pennsylvania state limits. However, that things could change depending on, where the world is at and everything. So we definitely want to talk to everybody and have an understanding of what you're looking for. That way, we may have opportunities come up that are remote that we could definitely keep in touch with you about, or opportunities that may be outside of the Pennsylvania state limits as well, that we definitely want to keep in touch with you about those types of opportunities as well.
Thank you. So an undergraduate question came in. As for undergraduate students, can they continue internship to full-time when they graduate in the fall or summer? I assume spring too.
Oh, yes. So I can answer that question. And again, where that would be, client dependent. A lot of times we do have opportunities where they are, extended further. So that would definitely be a possibility, just depending on, the workload, skill set, budget, things of that sort.
Thank you. So a question came in that says, if we have worked on our projects like banking app, credit card, etc., can we still apply for the internship, or do we need a special domain knowledge?
No, they could still apply. I don't think the domain knowledge is as, important as the technology skill set. Definitely still apply. We are, constantly business interviewing people, and we learn a lot about banking apps and credit apps. So we'd be welcome to learn about yours as well.
Thank you. I don't see any more questions as of right now. We'll give it just a couple more seconds. Um, Thank you all so much for answering all of those questions. We have had such a large turnout for this event, and the questions have been phenomenal. I know I learned a lot of information about it, but so I think that is all. Oh,
I
sure.
did want to say, I saw, oh, sorry. No, I was just seeing Jeff's email there to remind everyone at Jobs at Sigma. I just want to make sure everyone knows that will go to all of us on the talent acquisition team, and we will take them all seriously. So I know sometimes you worry it's just going to get sent out there, but we will take time to look through all of them. Feel free to put in there follow up to Harrisburg University, so we'll know, that's where you came from. But they will get looked at, and we will get back to you in a timely manner.
Thank you. Also remember to connect with them on LinkedIn and follow Sigma Resources because they will be posting certain updates and things like that. And then also on their careers page. Always check their careers page too. But thank you all for attending and participating in this event. I think it was wonderful. You had so many wonderful questions. We also have plenty of other great events this week, so check out our full schedule at our Career Services Spring webpage. If you have any other questions, though, please feel free to reach out to us at careerservices@harrisburgu.edu, and we can also pass those along to Kristen or Abby or anybody else if we cannot answer those. But have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you at some of the other events, and hopefully you'll be able to connect with Sigma Resources soon.